I have watched profitable companies run out of cash, not because they lost money, because they grew too fast, collected too slowly, and paid too early. The income statement said that they were winning. The bank account said that they were dying. Working capital, the cash trapped in the daily operations of a business, is where companies die between profitable quarters. And most operators don't manage it. They manage revenue, they manage cost, while working capital slowly bleeds them dry. Today, we are going to stop that bleeding. Hello, my name is Todd Hagopian, the original Stagnation Assassin, the author of The Unfair Advantage, Weaponizing the Hypomanic Toolbox. And today, on the Stagnation Assassin MBA, we're cracking open working capital management. I'm going to tell you what they teach you in the business school program, what they leave out, and what you actually need to know if you're running a real business in the real world. Working capital management is where operational excellence and financial performance intersect. Every day your receivables sit uncollected, every dollar of your inventory that sits unsold, every early payment that you make to suppliers. These are not accounting abstractions. They are real cash that could be funding growth, reducing debt, or returning that value to your shareholders. So let's look at what the textbook says. And to be fair, as usual, it's not wrong. Working capital is defined as current assets minus current liabilities. The resources available for day-to-day operations. The components that operators control in this are accounts receivable, money owed to the business by customers. The longer customers take to pay, the more cash is tied up in receivables. Inventory, raw materials, work in process, and finished goods. Every unit of inventory is cash that has been converted into a physical asset and not yet recovered through some form of sale. Accounts payable, the money the business owes to suppliers. The longer you take to pay suppliers, the longer you return cash. The cash conversion cycle, developed by Verlin Richards and Eugene Laughlin in a 1980 paper, is the core working capital metric. CCC equals days sales outstanding DSO plus days inventory outstanding DIO minus days payable outstanding DPO. The result is the number of days between when the company pays cash for inputs and when it receives cash from customers. A shorter CCC means less cash trapped in operations. A negative CCC, like Amazon's, means the company collects cash from customers before it pays suppliers, effectively funding operations with free supplier financing. Brilliant. Let's do the real world debrief. Where does this strategy and framework hold water? Working capital management earns its tuition as one of the fastest sources of cash generation available to an operator. In turnaround situations, working capital improvement is frequently the first place I look. It's often the fastest legitimate source of cash that doesn't require asset sales or new financing. I've recovered millions of dollars in cash within 90 days of entering a new assignment simply by systematically accelerating collections, reducing excess inventory, extending payment terms where appropriate. Working capital is cash hiding in plain sight. Every turnaround I've had has found at least $10 million waiting in receivables or inventory that nobody was even hunting. The CCC is also a powerful competitive weapon. Think about Dell's legendary negative cash conversion cycle, collecting customer payment before paying suppliers, funded its growth with zero net working capital. Amazon's similar model has funded its infrastructure build out at customers' and suppliers' expense. Understanding and managing the CCC is not just a treasury function, it's a strategic capability. Now, let's look at working capital. The sequencing is critical here. First, you have to stabilize collections by fixing the order to cash process. Then you have to standardize inventory management with demand-driven replenishment. And after that, you have to scale these investments and these improvements through supplier payment term negotiation. Let's look at the operating room where this kind of starts to break down. And remember, this is where the professor sits down and all of us operators stand up. Working capital management fails in practice for 3 reasons that have absolutely nothing to do with financial theory. Failure 1, it's managed by the wrong people. Receivables sit in the CFO's organization. Inventory sits in the operations. Payables sit in procurement. Nobody owns the CCC. Nobody is accountable for the number of days cash is trapped in the cycle. When accountability is distributed across 3 organizations, improvement is almost impossible. You can't improve what nobody owns. Working capital problems are almost always accountability problems wearing financial clothes. Failure 2, inventory optimization gets treated as a cost problem rather than a cash problem. Operators reduce inventory to cut costs, and they stop when costs look acceptable. The correct driver is cash recovery. The question is not how much inventory can we afford, but how little inventory do we need to meet demand at acceptable service levels? These 2 questions produce very, very different answers. Failure 3, receivables management is culturally subordinated to sales, the exact wrong position. Sales team often resist aggressive collections because they don't want to upset the customer relationship. The result is that credit risk and collection function is systematically underpowered relative to the business development function. This is a governance failure with a financial consequence. Let's talk about the operator's upgrade. How are we going to make this better? 3 moves that generate cash without cutting investment or selling assets. Move 1, set a DSO target of 20% below your current DSO target. I don't care where it is today. And build a 90-day collection sprint. Assign accountability. Measure it weekly. This is the fastest cash lever available to most operators. Move number 2, run an inventory aging analysis using the 80-20 matrix. The top 20% of SKUs by volume should be your inventory optimization target. The bottom 80% by velocity, the bottom 20% by velocity, the slow movers and the dead stock should be liquidated without sentiment. Move number 3, audit your supplier payment terms against industry benchmarks. Most companies pay significantly faster than they need to for no reason. Extending payment terms from 30 to 60 days on a $100 million payables balance generates $8 million in cash with no operational disruption. Do this through negotiation, not unilateral delays or just not paying people. Stagnation Assassin verdict, weaponize it. Working capital management is one of the most operationally powerful financial disciplines available to any operator. The cash conversion cycle, CCC, is the right metric, and it's immediately actionable, and it consistently produces real cash in real turnaround situations. Learn it, track it weekly, assign accountability for it at the operating level, not just the finance level. That's working capital, where the cash hides and how to get it back. For more on operational cash generation and financial performance, grab the Unfair Advantage, Weaponizing the Hypomanic Toolbox. Make sure you follow the Stagnation Assassin Show and visit toddhagopian.com and stagnationassassins.com for the world's largest stagnation database. And remember, the income statement is where you celebrate. The cash flow statement is where you survive. Working capital is the critical bridge between them.